to some concepts, theoretical concepts of digital electronics. So I welcome you to this e-learning lectures on digital electronics or digital techniques, right? And now we are into our 34th lecture. Okay, so with our structure, let's revise in this milli structure most important lessons yesterday or in this chapter. So what are the most important lessons yesterday we had discussed? We have discussed various logic gates, right? 7 types of logic gates and their working, symbol, truth table. We also gone through some Boolean algebra, some laws, and have tried to reduce the given this equation. Okay, we have seen this NOR and this NAND as a universal gate, right? And then we have also gone through some examples, reduction examples, and we have implemented that using either the basic gates or the universal gates, right? I'm really sorry for this disturbance. Please bear this disturbance for a few minutes. All right. So in this lecture, let us try to look at some theoretical concepts. Now we are quite familiar with these logic gates. Okay, familiar in the sense the working of each and every gate. Okay, we have seen individual gates working, right? But while performing practical or while having to design, we actually we don't have a single gate available. Okay, we have a bunch of gates that are available in the form of this IC. In one of the lectures, I have shown you that IC, integrated circuit, right? And that takes us to very important point, which is logic families. Now we have seen what do we mean by logic, right? And now we are going to see what are the families of this logic. Okay, now let's see one by one that what do we mean by these logic families and why they are important as far as this digital circuits or digital ICs are concerned. Right now, you might have seen various this digital devices. They are very fast. The response is very fast. Like if you compare the PCs, personal computers, way back in say 2000. Okay, so they are Pentium processors and they were quite slow. The internet at that time was also quite slow. Today, if you just click on an image of 100 KB, it takes hardly this micro or nanoseconds to get that image downloaded. But in earlier days, in those days, if you click on that image of say 100 KB, it used to take 5 to 10 minutes to download that image. So the processing was quite slow. Okay, and by the time, by this time, there has been so much of improvement and development in this logic or these ICs, right? So that takes us to this point of logic families. Earlier, we had that families which were slow. Now we have those families which are very fast and very less power consumptions they have, right? Okay, so logic families. Any digital circuit is constructed using logic gates. This we have already studied and we have discussed this, right? Logic gates are available in the form of digital IC. So as I have shown you that digital IC, that is integrated circuit. Now it is a circuit and integrated, right? These integrated circuits are now available in various types called as logic families. So this is what I was talking about, right? Now we have seen these gates. We have seen AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate, NAND, NOR, XOR and XNOR. Okay, and we also seen that gates can be constructed using switches. Now A switch can be a simple switch which we use in our house, the on and off switch, right? The switch can be made of transistor. It can be of BJT or it can be of MOSFET. So BJT, B stands for bipolar, means current can flow either because of these holes or electrons. It can flow because of both of these charge carriers, right? These MOSFETs are also called as unipolar devices because there is a flow of current only either electrons or holes, not because of both, right? So instead of this switch, these transistors can be used as a switch. Even resistors and diodes. Now specifically not resistors as a switch, but it's a part of that circuit. It can be a part of that circuit. And diode, you know, forward when we provide a forward biasing to a diode, it acts as a closed switch, and when we provide a reverse bias, it acts as an open switch. So that's what close and open. So diode can also be used to construct a gate, and this we have already discussed, right? All right, in short, logic family is a way to describe internal circuitry of IC. Now, if you recall, in one of the lectures, I said that you are going to be a doctor of the circuits. So now, this is one view of going into or looking into the internal circuitry of that IC. So that is what this logic family means. Very interesting, right? Okay, so we have seen this. This is, one of the gate using switches, now A and B. So switch A, when it is open means it is 0, when it is closed means it is 1. Same is the case for lamp. On means it is 1, off means it is 0, right? And you can recall this, right? If both the switches are open, there is no current flow and this lamp is off. This lamp is off, so output is 0. When any of the switches open, still your output is 0, right? Your output or your lamp will glow only in the case when both the switches are closed. In that case only your current will flow to this direction, right? And your switch will, this LED will actually glow, right? So this becomes AND gate. We have seen this AND gate, right? AND gate. Next, this is you can just quickly case. Yes, so this is for OR gate. Please bear with my handwriting here. OR gate, right? So when both the switches are open, means when both the switches are 0, your lamp will not glow, means it is 0, right? If either of the switch is closed, or if both the switches are closed, then only your lamp will glow, which is for OR gate. So we have seen this. Now here we are simply using this switch. So instead of this switch, as I said, what components you are using and in which way, in which manner or in which fashion you are using that component, that way describes your logic family. Okay, so we can have simply transistors. Yes, so instead of this switch A, I am using a transistor, and instead of this switch B, I am using another transistor, transistor T1, transistor T2. Now this circuit completely is of transistor. So that kind of logic is called as TTL, transistor transistor logic, because we are only using transistors here, right? So we can use a combination of these transistors and resistors, or transistors and diodes. So they are called as RTL, DTL, diode transistor logic, resistor transistor logic. So what are you using here? That gives that logic family. All right. Let's look at gate IC. Now again, just to recall, in one of the lectures I have shown you how that gate IC looks. So here is that image. So this is how your gate IC looks. Okay, at one side, now this package is called as DIP package. DIP. Now these ICs are available in different packages. Okay, we have this DIP package, then we have quad package. Now let me first tell you what is DIP. D means dual, dual means two, dual inline package. Now if you just look at this IC, any of this IC, you have its pins. Now these pins are very important. These pins of these ICs are in one line, right? Inline, right? Dual means these pins are available at this side also and at this side also. So they are in inline, right? One after the another. Dual means at both the side, and this is a kind of package. So that is why it is called as dual inline package. Okay. Now this notch is very important here. This one, this notch, because here nowhere it is printed that which pin is number one, or what is the number of those pins. Now if you see here, these are 7 pins: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This side it is 7 and another side it is again 7, so it becomes 14. So this particular IC is a 1414 pin IC, 14 pin IC. It is very critical, very important to know the functions of each of these pins. Very important. Then you will be able to work only when you know the function of each of these pins. Otherwise, you won't be able to know the function of this IC, and will not be able to work with that. Right? So that is very important. We'll see this in a while. Right? Now this is another image of IC. Now why I have taken this IC, because here this is important again. This number is very important. Okay, so what does it says? SN74HC00N. Now every this SN and this HC and this N has its own meaning. So right now we are not going to see what that means. We are just interested in this 7400, this number, because that is what represents one of the gate. This number represents one of the gate, right? If I'm not wrong, this should represent NAND gate, but let's see. Then you can see this is SN again, HC. Now here it is 7486. So this is, I think, or XOR. I don't remember actually. You'll have to see. So these numbers are important. You need to identify. Now while performing practical, you have a bunch or mixed ICs, right? And if I want OR gate IC, then I should know the number of this IC. So looking at that number, I can understand that which this gate or this IC belongs to which gate, right? All right. So this is how this IC looks. If you just see with your naked eye, but if you see inside of that gate IC, now just take one IC out from this, and inside this looks something like this. So as I said, this notch is important, right? And to the left of that notch always is your pin number 1, right? And then it goes from left to right, right? And from this point to this point, and then right to again left, this way. So this is the standard practice followed to uh, remember the number of these pins of any IC, right? So here you see there are seven pins this side and seven pins this side. So you can see here uh, this is 7408, so it is SN74HC08, something like that, right? Now 7408 is specifically, very specifically, AND gate IC. Now just look into this internal structure, right? So this is AND gate, two input AND gate. Now they are saying quad. Now here quad means four. You can see we have four ICs, four gates, not ICs, four gates available in one IC. That's why it is quad and it is two input. So if you see each of the gate, it has two inputs and always a gate has one output, right? So 7408 quad, two input and gates. And one very literally very important point, it's like if you want to ride on a bicycle, ride on a motorcycle, then you need to have two things. One is the ignition point, you should make it on, and another is you need to have fuel. So without these two things you cannot even start your motorcycle. So same is the case for here. Now for every IC, every integrated circuit or every chip, we need to have this VCC and this ground. Compulsory it is, and if you miss any of this, your IC probably will not work. Okay, now since this is digital electronics, the VCC always is plus 5 volt DC, plus 5 volt DC, right? And this grounding means it is connected to 0 volt, this ground. Alright, so this is how your inside of a gate looks like. Now this is again one layer we have entered into. If you want to have micro details, very micro details of any of the IC, you need to look for this data sheet. In that data sheet you have every micro, every small, every minute details of that IC. Now just type into the Google data sheet of 7408 and you will have all the details of this IC, its characteristics, its parameters, its electrical characteristics, everything you will have in that. Now at what temperature that IC operates, all information you will have in that data sheet, right? So hopefully in this upcoming days, let's be hopeful for having practicals of this digital techniques, and it will be again very interesting for us, right? So this is 7432 is OR gate IC. So just remember these numbers: 7432, again quad 2 input OR gates. You can see this OR gates, 4 OR gates. Again here we have VCC and ground. So this is pin number 1, this is 7, this is 8, and this is 14, right? This is NOT gate IC. Now since NOT gate has only one input and one output, so instead of 4 it actually accumulates 6 NOT gates. So it is hex 74. Now 7404 is for NOT gate IC, right? Hex NOT gate, or NOT gates are also called as inverters, right? So again here we have this VCC and ground. Then 7400 is NAND gate, so that's what I said, 7400 NAND gate. Again the same structure. 7402 is for NOR gate. If you refer this NOR gate, as compared to other ICs, its internal structure is a bit different. Okay, here you see for this NAND gate, pin number 1 and pin number 2 are inputs and pin number 3 is output. But here if you see, pin number 1 is output, 2 and 3 is input. Okay, that makes no difference, but just while performing a practical or while using this NOR gate IC, you just need to take consider this 7486 XOR. So I correctly said that it's a XOR IC. Okay, and then we have this different, very different number for XNOR gate IC. So it's 747266. Now this naming conversion conventions is already being given there, right? So this is how your internal IC looks like. Now the point to cover this structure here is consider any gate here. So consider this gate. Now your gate, this gate, how it is constructed? What components are used to construct this single gate? Okay, are you using a bipolar junction transistor? Are you using MOSFET, metal oxide semiconductor, field effect transistor, MOS technology? Which technology are you using? It's like our cell phones. So earlier cell phones had 3G. Before that it had 2.5G. Right? Now we have 4G. So we had different technologies being used for this cellular cell phones. So just ask to your elder ones. We had GPRS technology, then HSPDA technology. Okay, now nowadays this 4G is based on VoLTE, voice over LTE technology, right? And then we categorize them into different these families: 4G family, 3G family, 2.5G family, 2.75 family, generations we call them, right? So similarly, if you're constructing this IC and particularly this gate, then which components you are using in that distinguishes your logic family, right? Okay, so classification of these logic families. So this is how your logic family in a broad sense can be classified, right? So we have digital ICs in bipolar form. Here bipolar is for BJT and here it is unipolar, right? So this unipolar, or it is also called as MOS. You can see here PMOS, NMOS, CMOS. So it's simply MOS, right? These both are uh, literally same. Metal oxide semiconductor are unipolar devices, right? Then coming to this bipolar, we have something called saturated and unsaturated, right? So in the saturated, we have register transistor logic, where we use the combination of register and transistor. Then we have DTL, diode transistor logic. Then we have DCTL, direct coupled transistor logic, right? Then I square L, integrated injection logic, high threshold logic, and this one is important. The ICs which right now we had discussed, 74 series, 74XX, we can say that. So instead of XX, you can put any number, 00, 02, 04, 08, 32, 86, anything. So that IC actually uses this technology, TTL technology, transistor logic. Okay, and then in unsaturated, we have the Schottky TTL and emitter coupled logic, right? Now you can again go into a much depth of these concepts. For that, you need to understand the basics of these basic electronics concepts, right? So Right now we are not going to very much deep. We are just having an overview of this logic families. Okay, then this unipolar, this has PMOS, this P channel MOSFET, then NMOS, N channel MOSFET, and CMOS. Now CMOS is combination, actually it is complementary, right? C stands for complementary. If you see the structure of that CMOS, it's simply the combination of PMOS and NMOS, right? So in these latest technologies or latest these devices where they have become very much compact and very fast. So these kind of technologies are internally used to design the given circuit, right? So bipolar families, they uses transistors for fabrication. Okay, then we have DTL, TTL, and ECL. As I said, TTL is quite popular. Okay, and it is TTL. This logic is using small scale integration and medium scale integration. Now there is another very important concept called scale of integration. Right. Now we have this small scale integration, then medium scale integration, large scale integration, then we have very large scale integration, VLSI. For electronic students, we have this complete different subject called VLSI, very large scale integration. Integration, this actually means how many components are used to prepare that or to fabricate that IC. Okay, so in the very large scale, this integration, literally you can fabricate millions of transistors in a single chip, right? This kind of IC we have seen, this one. In this, you can have millions of transistors, right? In the next lecture, we'll see a few details about this scale of integration. Then we have ECL, emitter coupled logic, used for high speed application, right? Then MOS families or unipolar families, we can call it. MOSFETs for fabrication is used. PMOS, NMOS, CMOS. Just now we have seen this. PMOS is the oldest and slowest. So in the earlier days, this PMOS technology was used, and it's uh, the working, you know, is quite slow. Now there are technical reasons why this PMOS is slow and why this CMOS is fast. Okay, NMOS used for large scale integration, LSI, as I said. It is used in microprocessors and memory ICs. Now just open up, if you have your desktop or personal computer, just open your CPU and you will find a RAM IC that is removable. You can remove that RAM IC. RAM is random access memory. It's not removable access memory. It's RAM, random access memory. But you can remove that RAM IC. So again, they are integrated circuits. Okay. In that, this NMOS technology is used. CMOS extensively used for low power devices like calculators. Now, as I said, CMOS is low power. It is used for calculators. Now, calculators have very small battery. They are battery operated, and very small size of battery is used there. And that battery should, it should go for a long time. Long lasting battery it should have, right? But internally, this CMOS circuits, this CMOS technology is used so that it automatically consumes very less power, and that is why that cell can go for a long time, right? So this is all for today's lecture. I hope you have understood these concepts, right? So in tomorrow's lecture, we'll see for the scale of integration, okay, and further details about this logic families, right? Till then, have a nice time. and enjoy your e-learning.